Hello everyone, I am Lady Calamere and I am doing a video presentation on the Norse goddess Frigga. I have my cats here and one of them is Shadow. He's the eldest. He's 16 and a half, 16 years and 6 months old. So Frigga or Frigg, as you notice the R's are rolled, and in Scandinavian, modern Scandinavian is the closest thing you're going to get to Old Norse, is that all the R's are rolled. Like when you see this letter, like O, this, Odin, it's actually Othin. Othin. You want emphasis on the O and Thin. But you could say if Odin works for you, that's fine. Like the name Thor is actually Thor. It's a short rolled R because of the Thorisaz, the rune. So, and like anything with a double L is a K sound. So, that's just some of the things I wanted to clear out. Like if you look at Loki, it's actually Loki. You want emphasis on that O, Loki. So, a lot of the names and words are pronounced wrong, and we have like people from Iceland and kind of laughing at us, but that's fine. It's all in fun. So I like to try to get the pronunciations as best as I can when I talk to my gods. No judgment here. So if the word Frigga works for you, fine. But it's always good to learn how to pronounce a name of someone's name, your friend's name, or god's or goddess's name. Don't you think? I hate it when people pronounce my name wrong. Anyways, that's just my little pet peeve. So remember, like I just wanted to get this book out of the way. So anyways, the goddess Frigga. Now, all the stories were written down in Christian era by Christians. So of course they're going to throw the Christian bias into it. And you'll notice books upon books were written on the gods. And within books upon books of the stories of Thor, and Odin, and even Loki. You might just have maybe a chapter or a few pages dedicated to Freya, Scotty. And that was a Christian bias. However, even Snorri Sturluson wrote in his Prose Edda that Odin says that the goddesses are no less powerful or holy than the gods. Okay, remember that. So even Tacitus, am I pronouncing it right? Said that a woman of similar rank or class as a man was twice as important. And if a woman when a woman kinfolk was killed, that means it was twice the war guild that you would give for a man. And war guild was what you owe as compensation. War guild, especially with a death. Anyways, I got this, or highly recommended by history. Vikings, the rulers of the sea and sword. Anyways, so let's get on with the goddess. Her name actually means the beloved. Her name means the beloved. She is the beloved of the gods. She is the beloved, especially of Odin, and she is the wife of Odin. So she is the queen. She is a senior, or as like to pronounce in America here, a senior, which means a female the goddesses of the Aesir. So she's of Aesir. Now, one of the things I have pet peeve is people try to say that Freya, and Frigg are the same. No, not at all. That's like saying Odin and Thor are the same because they both are powerful, strong gods and they deal with war. Sounds kind of silly, huh? Sorry about the lighting here, folks. But I got a cat glomming up all the light. See? There he is. He doesn't care. He just wants to be next to Frigga. And that's important because domestic animals, and we could see that as pets, are sacred to this goddess, Frigga. Frigga. So your pets would be considered, whether dog, cat, or your livestock, were sacred to this goddess. Now, if you look in Frigg, that's her original Norse name. Frigg, Fricg is it was among the Anglo-Saxon. Frigga was Dutch. Fricka is German. Diana Paxton said that Frigg is the true pronunciation of this goddess and not Frigga. But, you know, I like her stuff, I really do. So, anyways, her runes, let's get to it. Why do I have these runes? Well, this is definitely one of her major runes, Barkana. And it represents the mother, and she is a mother. She is a very beautiful, wonderful, wholesome mother. Perthel, which deals with the cauldron and life and birth and all this wonderful stuff, which is hers. But this is her major rune. Behu, where we get the word fee, which means your fee, your money, your payment. Behu. So these are the runes. These are the runes that the wood was given to me by my friend Peggy. Thank you. And I painted them, the runes, and I put my blood on them so that they're energized. So I'm not really going to get into the topic of the runes, but I put these out to show you. And her tarot card definitely is the Empress. And this, by the way, comes from the Vikings tarot. Really cool tarot deck. So Empress is what she is, and we have her in the Lovers. And this is a story where when Odin went away for a long while, so she took up with Vili and Ve. And, you know, since the king is away, they needed a king. So in order to rule, they not only do you have to be the consort or marry the queen, but also share her bed in order to rule the land. But when Odin comes back, she said, "Thank you very much, Billy and Bay, but my husband's back." So, anyways, this is my bag of runes that I keep it in. So, anyways, Frigga is approachable, but she's very regal and stately. She's not about chaos, she's about order. And she's also about cleanliness in the home. So she doesn't like her statue dirty. She doesn't like a dirty altar. And she's very matronly, maternal. Her colors: blue, white, gray, and silver. Her planetary aspects are definitely Venus, as well as she's been attributed to the moon. And also she's an earth goddess. She is the daughter of Fjorgen. Fjorgen, sorry, not Jin. Fjorgen. Fjorgen. So, Frigga, along with Odin, the only two deities are allowed to sit on Odin's throne. It's Odin and Frigga. And the throne is actually pronounced Leith Skull. Leith Skull. Even though it's spelled HLI with the curved D, SKJALF, yes. So it's Leith Skull. And what it means is a seat that, it's a seat that you can have a clear view of everything. So when you sit on a throne, you have a clear view of all. So she's a sky goddess, too. She's an all-mother, the sky mother, the queen of the gods and goddesses. And I have to hold this because I know what he wants to do. He wants to make room for himself. And he knows better. But he learned bad things from his little brother and sister. That's her sitting on my heater. Lady Boss. She does bad things. Like break my altar. She breaks my altars and breaks things and knocks things over, and she's an agent of chaos. Anyways, back to Frigga. Oh, I have no idea what I have to deal with them. Her elements. Her main element is air. Her other element is water. Oh my God, Shadow, you're hogging up all the light. So, she's a goddess of many, many, many things. She's, oh my God. She's so much. And so much has been attributed to her. Now, some of her symbols, and one of the things is if you look up at Orion, look at Orion's belt. That's hers in Norse mythology. That's her, what's it called? The distaff, where you see she spins wool, and that's hers. So in the sky, look up at Orion's belt. And you could call the Frigga. Her day is Friday, along with Freya. And was the most auspicious day to get married, on a Friday. And Frigga, or Frigga, oh God, I get so tired of rolling the R's. My tongue gets tired. So, she's a goddess of marriage, as well as divorce. Yes. In Germany, way back then, it wasn't hard to get a divorce, and it wasn't full of all this stigma, as long as the kids were taken care of. So she helped for a wonderful marriage, love in the marriage. She was prayed to for a prosperous marriage, as well as for children and healthy children. And she was also, if the marriage starts to go south, then it's time to part. So Frigga, just like Freya, and Freyja means lady, dealt with women affairs. Though they had many things in common, there was also differences. And they also dealt with women, some with the same concerns and some same concerns but different ways. And he's kissing the goddess right now. He's scenting her. This is how a cat owns things. Please do not break it. So, like with Freya, when it came to love, I mean, you can call her to have marriage. But, when you do love spells with Freya, it could be like a wham bam thank you man, or, a fun few nights, where Frigga is more her love. When you call for love, she didn't want that. She's not for that. Her love is meant to be long term, serious, and committed. Oh my god. I thought he was going after the runes. He's reading the runes right now. He's gonna tell our fates. Uh, I couldn't resist doing that. He's distracting. So, where she represents the family, putting together a family, uh, saving a family if need be, and also if it's meant to split, it's meant to split. She protects women. She also deals with childbirth and pregnancy and fertility and the protection of children. Children are important to Frigga. So, those that are sacred to Frigga, this goddess, would be those who are pregnant. She would be, you could say, the patroness goddess or matroness, whatever, or the patron goddess of pregnant women, mothers, children, those who do divination, those who work with CPS or any family, children and family services. She also, for those that work in a maternity ward, and those who are midwives, those who work in women's shelters. So she will cover all that. Things that you do not want to do that would really insult Frigga is to let her altar or statue get dirty. My cats, my statues get covered with her hair at times. I have to, diligently clean them. Also hurting, also, beating up children and beating up mothers and beating up pregnant women would not be good for her. And raping and abusing the earth is not good for her. It's just not good. Actually, for you, not her. It's not about her. It's you. So she has 12, count them, 12 handmaidens. I'm wondering if they do not represent the 12 zodiac. So her 12 maidens, one of her main messenger is a goddess. It's spelled Gna, Gna, and she travels between the worlds, you know, giving messages to Frigga, and she also is the one that will send her message to other gods and people. So her other main one is Fulla, and her sister, and she looks after her wealth, Frigga's wealth, and it's guarding her treasures and her shoes and her 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 close confidant, and she's also keeper of Frigga's mysteries and women's mysteries. We have Lorfin, who Lorfin is that she's very kind, and she helps those with love concerns. So Var, who deals with oaths and marriages and contracts. We have Var, V-A-R. Now another goddess, Vor, V-O-R. Vor, I should say. Var and Vor. So, Shadow said he caught me. And she's very intelligent, very wise. She questions things, she inquires about things, and nothing can be concealed for her. So she's like she knows things, and you can't keep things hidden from her. So Vor is like a goddess of divination. Sin, she's a gatekeeper. So she guards Frigga's hall, which is Frigga's. I'll get into what her hall is about. Helene, Frigga protects, has this goddess Helene protect people, and Helene can help you have safe passage. So Snotra, Snotra, as we pronounce it here, and Snotra, she's the goddess of civilization and courtesy and being civil. She's smart, she's intelligent, she's prudent. We have another one, which is Siofin. Remember, the J's are pronounced as J, like yours. So, you and yell. So, Siofin is, she she causes people to love someone. So she kind of is like a goddess of love, kind of, but not just simply, wham bam, thank you, ma'am. So she helps heal quarrels and fights between people, and she brings together communities. She heals wounds within families. So I'm just giving you a basic rundown of things. Gefjon. Gefjon. She holds the power of the sea, the land, and she's also a giver of gifts. So, the unmarried, you can pray for unmarried women when they pass, for their protection. Ear, ear, E-I-R. So she's a healer. She's a physician. She's a master of it. And she also helps shape fate. Oh God. Saga. Saga. So, and that means long. Her name means long tail. T-A-L-E, not T-A-I-L. And she loves historians. She loves history. She loves, Saga collects and passes on knowledge. And she helps one retain knowledge. So, should have wrote all this down. Just trying to think if yeah, I think I got them all. I think I told you them all. So those are her handmaidens. And handmaidens are not like weak goddesses or itty bitty goddesses. They're no less powerful or holy than Thor or Frey. Or Bragi. Sorry. Though my throat is dry. So there is some tales with her, and she loves her husband very much, and he loves her, but she's not so always crazy about his infidelities, and you know. But now, Frigga does not travel around like Odin. However, she does get involved with human affairs. She does. She does help humans. And one thing that you need to know about Frigga is she's a master divinator. She does divination. She's a psychic goddess, but she knows what's going to happen, but she doesn't tell because of the story with Balder. And there's two versions of it. One version, which is the oldest version but not as known, is the blind god, his brother, and him holding Balder uh, became very bitter with each other, and they finally had the final fight with because of Nana, and Hord kills Balder with the mistletoe. And then the other one is a longer drawn out one, which involves Loki and the mistletoe. So I think that's a very famous story, and that's told by Snorri Sturluson, but one that's just slightly older because Saxo Grammaticus wrote the Gylfaginning before the Procetus, right before it was published. He wrote stuff, so Saxo Grammaticus is his material is a bit older, not by much. But both, you gotta remember, they were both Christian. So, anyways, one of the stories that is sometimes Odin and Frigga would, if their disagreements was more political than anything, it's like uh, Frigga chose these warrior women over the Vandals, which were chosen by Odin. So they kind of have a disagreement. So Odin said, okay, whoever uh, tribe I see, the people I see, the warriors I see, first when I wake up are the ones I'm going to choose. Frigga was smart because she knows that he's going to see the Vandals, and she didn't want that. So she intervenes. Again, here she is intervening. She went to her people, the one that she chose, and she said, what I want you to do is take your hair, and I want you to put it over your face and tie them as if they were beards. So she told that of the women, her women folk. And what she did was, when Odin was asleep, and he slept like a dead, so she turned the bed around, and sleep like him, and turned the bed around. So when Odin woke up and he looked out, and he said, who are these Longbeards? The Lombarder, so, which meant Longbeards. And true to his word, he gave them his favor, and they won against the Vandals. So they were now, their tribe name were changed to the Longbeards. Things that are sacred to her. Things are definitely, if you want, her symbols are definitely keys. And keys were very important. See, the woman, head of the household, she head of all the duties. It was up to her to make sure everything was in order for when winter came, or else you were in deep duty, you know, especially when the harsh winter came. When I talk winter, it's oof. So anyways, like living in a freezer, and then some. So keys are sacred to her. They represent the household, so you could give her a ring of keys. and she was seen with keys and the ring of keys. Wool, especially because she one of the things that she does is that she spins the thread that the three Norns used to weave fate. The Norns of past, present, and future use the thread that she spins. So she is involved with people's destiny and fate in a way, in that way. In the basic, raw way she is. So give her um, wool that has been spun. Milk. She loves milk. Mead. Oh, mead is important. And she made feasts, and she would make meat. She would also have feasts, and feasts were meant to either repel people or banish people, or to bring people or tribes together. So mead would be a good thing. She likes pastries. Maybe some of this is not so traditional, like pastries. She likes fruity wine. Uh, More and more people are saying she likes Riesling, or I can't spell it. I think it's R-E-I, or no, R-I-E. I think S-L-I-N-G. It's a type of wine. Other things. Fruit is good. Chocolate. Can't go wrong with chocolates. And candies. And honey, because honey makes mead. That's actually mead is fermented. MEAD is fermented honey that turns into an alcohol. MEADE you can give her, which is wine mixed with honey. So it's not a true mead. Birch leaves and birch wood, definitely good things to give to her. So other things that you can give to her is clean water, clean her altar as an offering to her, do things for families and feed children. So get your home organized. You can make cleaning, because cleaning your home was very important to Frigga. Okay, so you could do rituals of cleaning and actually raise the energy and think about what you want and literally vacuum, mop, and do things. You want to keep, she always kept her place tidy. Now her place, her hall, she has a hall. Fenselier, or Fenselier as we say it here, it means marsh home. So her place was the marshes, like swampy areas. So her hall was the marsh hall, the swampy areas. So that was good for her. Now, some of her other things is that she has some herbs that are associated with her. Birch, definitely birch. And I'll tell you one thing about birch. In the sweat baths that they use, and yes, they use sweat baths. When I went to a sweat, sort of as traditional as you can get, not completely traditional, is that the lady that was doing the sweat baths, so they didn't have birch wood, she used some birch oil, and it would steam and it would purify, and it's meant to cleanse you out, your pores and everything, and help with circulation. So birch with the steam bath and stuff. So, and I'm not telling you to do anything like that, but you have to be careful with these steam baths and the sweat lodges and stuff. If your doctor says no, don't do it. So If you have any risks of getting sick, don't do it. Anyways, thyme, thyme, the herb. Borage. Borage is also another of her herbs. There's also called a thing called Frigga grass. I'm not sure, I'd never seen it, but it was used in during the heat. There are heathen. They didn't even call themselves heathen. They were called coined heathens, and it was used to help women during pregnancy, when they're giving birth, to help, calm them down and also help with the pain. So it was called Frigga's grass. Other things that are sacred to her: mugwort, mugwort, linden. And linden was actually a wood that was even used to make the shield of warriors. So, linden. And off the top of my head, I should have wrote this down. Chamomile. And we know that chamomile is very calming, and it's good for helping you relax and helping you sleep. Nettle. Nettle is good. Motherwort. Not just mugwort, but motherwort. Other things: yarrow. Yarrow is also good for using as psychic to drink as a tea. But remember, please do not ingest anything if you feel you're allergic and if it goes against your medication. So just be careful with that, because herbs can be very powerful. Beech trees. Beech is also sacred to her. Off the top of my head, why didn't I write this down? Anyways, mistletoe. Believe it or not, mistletoe, even though it was instrumental in her son's death, Baldur's death, is actually sacred to her. Also, another thing is one more thing. I'm just trying to think. I thought there was something else that was sacred to her. Oh well. Anyways, sacred day. Yule, Yule. It's also called Mother's Night because Yule is sacred to her son, where she gives birth to him. And for about 12 days after is sacred to her. And around like May 15th, 13th, and 15th is also sacred to her. But definitely her most sacred night is Yuletide. It's coming up, where the mother, ritually, where the mother gives birth to the son, her son, the bright god. So, also gold is sacred. Now, other metals that are sacred to her, let's get into stones and metals. Metals. Quartz crystal. Other people have used with her obsidian, snowflake obsidian. You can use with her. Silver, the metal silver, as well as gold. Yes, gold. Also, some people have associated her with pearls. Now, there's a story about gold. She has coffers of gold. And one day, she looked at her coffers and she wanted to add more gold to it. And Odin had his statue in Asgard, and his statue was made of gold. So she seduced, she couldn't, so she didn't want to deface the statue itself, so she seduced someone. And they literally kind of cut into his face and melted it down to make gold for her. Odin wasn't so happy about that, but their love is strong enough. So gold is sacred to her. Mother's Day can be also a day for any of the goddesses, but also especially you can dedicate it to her, if you will. It's not traditional, but thing is, she's good for those who have lost a child. If you have lost a child, whether by murder, by cancer, by suicide, she's your go-to goddess because she knows what it's like to lose her son, who she mourns over. So those who have lost a child would find comfort in the arms of Frigga. And some people can lose a child not even through death. They could be alive, but they could have joined a cult. Or maybe they just turned away from you. Or they could be runaways. Or they could have been abducted. Oh God, abduction is horrible because you don't even know if they're alive or dead. So, she's good for that. And she's very protective. Frigga is very, very protective. She may not be a warrior goddess like Freya, but do not think she cannot hold her own. She will. And she's very powerful. And her magic is powerful too. She's also practices magic. Do not think for a minute she doesn't practice magic. She does. Things that are sacred to her, her animals. And one thing, just like Freya, she has a what's a falcon cloak. She can use that. So like peregrines, hawks, even eagles would be associated with her. Domestic animals, like I said before. Also other animals. When you think about weaving, you could think about the spider that could be associated with her. So other things would be other animals. Just trying to think. Like all domestic animals would, like I said before, would fall under her. As you can see, she has what she's holding, and you see up there, like almost look like a pond character, not quite, almost. So those are some of the sacred things that are sacred to her. And just trying to think off the top of my head, she is also her animals. Oh shoot, why didn't I write this down? I don't write it down, that's why. So all those things, like, okay, anyways, moving on, since I forgot, and I drew a complete brain part. Actually, looking house hunting, if you're doing any house hunting spells, Frigga would be your goddess. A few things that I want to say before I close this, I end this video. is that Frigga is very beautiful. A lot of people like to make her look old and not at any way beautiful at all. That's not exactly how she is. She's very eye-catchingly beautiful. Don't think for one moment she isn't beautiful. So, other things I'll just say. Oh, the ram. The ram. So, the falcon, the hawk, the ram, the spider, domestic animals, your pets, or whatever you consider your pets, would be under her domain. So, even if it's not traditional, your pet spider, your pet's, well, I'm sorry, pet snake, your pet frog, your pet turtle. If something's wrong, you can ask Frigga to help them, to protect them, maybe find the right doctor, vet for them. Other things is that Frigga wears a blue cloak, and it represents the sky. And they say that, said there's people say that the colors of the clouds are her temperament. And like with the gods, you can't pigeonhole the gods. You can't pigeonhole our gods. Please don't do that. Pigeonholing and pegging them, saying, "Oh, this is just a god of war. It doesn't deal with anything else other than war. Oh, this is a god of love." And no, there's different deities of war. There's different deities of peace, in the same pantheon. And it's the thing is, Frigga, she's lofty. That's what I want to say. She's like, in some ways, she is more approachable than Odin, but a lot of people say that she's actually more approachable. And I'm not saying you don't approach Odin. Odin, I'm not telling you, or Odin, as if you ever want to pronounce it. Now, Frigga can also, you can learn divination through her, but remember, she's not going to tell you what she sees. And there's reasons behind that. Is because of what happened to her son. Because when she tried to change his fate, where he would die, she got a promise from everything except for the mistletoe. Some say it was too young to make an oath, or was considered too insignificant. Either way, he was killed with the mistletoe, wood from the mistletoe, not just hit with a mistletoe berry. I mean, a dart, like the spear tip, or sometimes even said to be a dart that was made of it, and was killed him. And since all things were made promise not to kill Balder, the gods made a support of throwing everything at him, knives, swords, anything, rocks at him. But a mistletoe killed him. That's a big story, and you'll hear it from other places. This is already long enough video for me to go into it, but that's one of the reasons she does not try to really tell you. And she has her other reasons too. And you see right here, I got this statue at Amazon. It has the runes written on her leg. Let's just look at this. And look at the sleeping cat. He has safety in the love of Frigga. So, very beautiful. It's cold cast bronze. And try as they might, they haven't broken it yet. He's not really a breaker of statues, my little ones. We have 4 cats. Miss Kitty, Shadow, Sir Mew Mew, and Lady Boss. And Lady Boss and Sir Mew Mew are the agents of destruction and chaos. So, anyways, as you see, she's very beautiful here. You may find comfort in Frigga. She's very welcoming, but you need to respect her because she is a queen. And she's lofty and she's regal. But she's also very loving. very caring. And some people ask me, is she like Hera? They're, first of all, they're from different pantheons, and their temperament and energy is different. Is she Freya? Some people say there's debate whether Freya and Frigga came from a goddess Frigga, Friea, I believe, Frigga, and it's not even conclusive. So, but if you invoke them and do the ritual, evoke them, call them into the ritual, you'll feel that their energies are definitely different. And yeah, it is said that Frigga has a jewel, and Freya has a jewel that looks similar, but it's not. They're not similar. So, anyways, there's so much to learn about this goddess, and there's so much to rediscover and and to really have your unverified personal gnosis with her. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching. If you like this, please like and subscribe, and please share this video. And I know it's long, but I don't want to do it in segments of Frigga part 1, Frigga part 2, and part 3, because I have to do these things, and I have to set things up and do it when I can, especially when the cats are more quiet and they're not running around and trash, because they're literally, today, they literally trashed this whole place. I mean, they really knocked everything down to two little ones, Lady Boss and Sir Mimia, so it gets quite complicated. So, and then I have to load this up and everything. But anyways, thank you for watching, and thank you for understanding, and I know I was just talking a little bit too much, but I thank you for watching, and I appreciate you so much. Without you, these videos would go nowhere. So thank you, thank you, thank you, and blessed be, and hail to the gods and goddesses. So mote it be.